pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. On our agenda, we have promulgate the list for Detective Bureau exam. So we need a motion to promulgate the detective list effective December 8th, 2021, with the following, the following list, 1 through 7, which is, get the list here. Okay, the list is, number 1, Eric Fuller. Number 2, Mike Mazzacci. Number 3 is Nicole Gerosa. Number 4 is Brian Griffin. Number 5 is Jason Greenfield. Number 6 is Samantha Salato. And number 7 is Justin Young. So we need a motion to approve the list.
So moved.
Go ahead.
Okay. Commissioner Stone, second by Commissioner Lebo. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? None? Okay. The list is active. It'll expire on January 7th, 2022.
December.
Oh, I'm sorry. December 7th, 2022. Okay. Congratulations with Mr. Fuller. Officer Fuller or Detective Fuller now. Congratulations. So, do you want to swear him in?
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that. That's next. Yeah.
Don't worry. No, I got your text. No, you're not going to say that.
Right hand. Do you, Eric Fuller, solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Connecticut, and how will you remain a citizen? Therefore, and will you faithfully discharge, according to the law, the duties of a Fairfield Police Detective to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I will.
Congratulations.
Sure. In person. Good. You good? Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, next we have a new officer hire. Officer Tiffany Robledo, is it?
Yes.
Is that how you spelled it?
Yes.
Okay, Robledo. She met all the qualifications to become a Fairfield police officer, which is very stringent and very time-consuming, and we only hire the best here in Fairfield. So congratulations, and if you want to come up and get sworn in.
Do you, Tiffany Robledo, solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Connecticut so long as you remain a citizen? Therefore, and will you faithfully discharge, according to the law, the duties of a Fairfield police officer to the best of your ability, so help you God? I will. Congratulations. Oh, yes.
Nice. Hold on a second. You want to come up, take a picture? Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll get out. Ready? Do one more with this one, guys? Yep. Beautiful. You guys
Hey.
think...
Oh, that's nice.
Piece of cake.
Good job.
Yeah, my phone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. Good job, everyone.
I know.
Yep.
Get out of here. Hey. What? That's for Jason. Okay, number 4 is approval of minutes from the previous meeting. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Oh, okay, Commissioner Caparelli, seconded by Commissioner Ambrose. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one. Abstentions? None? Okay, motion carries. Traffic surveys, Commissioner Ambrose. Traffic
Survey number 1, location, Stratfield Road at between Marne Avenue and Suburban Avenue. Nature request, in order to cross the street off Marne Avenue, you have to be extremely careful because there are no sidewalks on each side of the road, as well as no stop sign or crosswalk. This street has many children and walkers. It is very dangerous once you get to Stratfield because it is such a busy road and people drive fast. By whom? The application made by Jomaine Grassi. Recommendation: the LTA can submit a survey request, to DOT, Traffic Engineering at ct.gov to study potential crosswork at Stratfield Road and Marne Avenue.
Okay, Commissioner Stone, you're on a survey. Do we have any other information?
Nothing further to add. It's obvious that it's a busy road and it needs some sort of protection. But being a state road, we have to get state approval to go forward.
Lieutenant Paris, anything to add?
No, sir.
Okay.
So essentially, we'll need state DOT approval to affirm the recommendations that have been asked for.
So we have to make a motion to submit a request to DOT. Can I make that motion?
I make a motion to submit the request to the Department of Transportation for approval.
Any second?
I second.
Okay, Commissioner Ambrose seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? None? Okay, motion.
May I ask a question?
Oh, sure.
How is that recommendation moved from here?
So when the commission makes an endorsement or a recommendation for the state to do a study, it goes to the engineering department. The engineering department then proposes to state DOT to look at it.
So it'll go to Bill Hurley and then it'll go, okay, fine.
Bill was with us on the
Oh, good.
study.
Okay, motion will go down and passes. Survey number 2.
Survey number 2, location, Pequot Avenue between Westway Road and Westport border, the Sasko Creek. Nature of request is pedestrian cycling, vehicle congestion is a safety hazard. Solutions, number 1, solar digital sign eastbound on Southport Beach. Number 2, additional sharrows. 3, fog lines. 4, graphic pedestrian and bike signage. 5, crosswalk at beach. The request was made by Judy Proctor and Jack Liam, who's part of the Sasquatch Association. Recommendations: approve solar digital sign eastbound at Southport Beach, repaint existing fog lines, graphic pedestrian and bike signage, and crosswalk at beach.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioner, comments? No? Anybody from the public here? Oh, come on, your name is? Oh, all right. Just,
Judy Proctor, Annie Murphy, Jack Imes, Rich Burton, and Mike Place.
Okay.
We're a team.
Ma'am, if you could just say your name and your address for me.
Yes. Okay, I'm Judy Proctor, 428 Pequot Avenue. So first of all, we had requested one additional set of sharrows, and the sharrows have been repainted. And so there's one that's right at the Sea Lodge, right at the beach, another one a little further, and then there's a large expanse until the next sharrow, which is at Westway. So we would like to have a sharrow in between there, if possible.
Okay.
And two, we'd like to know how we connect. Is it with the police department? This is about the solar digital sign. We understand we will be purchasing it, the Sasquatch and the Conservancy will be purchasing it together. And so we want to know what the process is.
Okay, Lieutenant Parrish, you want to comment on that?
Sure. So the purchasing of the sign is done by an individual person or a group
Right.
organization.
Right.
It has to be added to our reference site so that it's added to the Fairfield Police Department site, but it's done under the guise of a separate topic, separate title page, so that you also can review it, but you won't be able to review all the signs of the town of Fairfield. So basically, you have to give us access to it. And then the sign is monitored only to a certain point where it's paid by the organization. The department would not fund the yearly maintenance and nor the yearly monitoring fee. It would be done, if you so desired, by the individual group, and that would give you data off of it. The sign has data retrieval from the sign. If you plug it into it directly, the yearly fee is about $2,400, and that allows you to review it remotely without having to plug into the sign.
Okay. So we were under the impression that the town would be maintaining it and has maintained the other ones that are in town.
We had at one point, we no longer maintain or pay for a yearly fee on any sign in the town of Fairfield, except for the ones that are put on a rotating basis to the police department.
The rotating ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So that adds a new equation.
Sure.
But I think we can manage to figure out that.
Sure. Just so you know, you don't necessarily have to have that fee.
Right.
That fee is done so that you could pull data off of it remotely.
Right.
If the sign is there and installed, it could still work and function as normal.
Right.
It's just the data being retrieved from it wouldn't be able to be done remotely. So it's a preference on behalf of your organization.
So how do you remove, or how do you get to the data if it's not remote?
You'd have to plug the sign in directly.
Okay. There's a lot to learn.
It is a lot of fun.
Solar sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so you know, these signs they're good for advisement of speed.
Right.
But they're really meant to be moved around.
Right.
But we understand that, if your organization wishes to purchase one and have it on a constant basis, it's there. But they're meant to move around.
Right, but the solar part of them, that would make it sort of impossible to
Correct.
use,
That's
right?
correct.
The fact that it's solar.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems, I guess we felt that solar was logical, because otherwise you have to replace the batteries all the time.
You'd have to have a solar option because it wouldn't charge you other than an 8-hour period.
Right. Okay, so we will work with you on the details.
Understood, okay.
Okay, good. So, and then the other question is, we'd like to work with, I'm assuming Bill Hurley, about where to place the signage. Is that?
Well, Lieutenant Parrish is our traffic expert, so
Okay.
So I think that the commission would have to vote on the location of the sign for it to be installed.
Right.
It's been our history to know that the commission would not approve several different locations. It would be one location.
One location.
Yeah. And once that location is picked out, and if the commission approves to do it, they would have, we would at least accommodate the sign posts and such like that to get it
Okay.
in a certain location.
Right. Well, the 55 people that have signed the petition have agreed to have it in, in certain parts of the beach. So I say from a little bit about where the crosswalk is, maybe a little bit forward from that, down to the restroom. And Bill Hurley suggested that it be closer to the restroom, since we now have a crosswalk, and folks would slow down at the crosswalk. So it would, we'd love to work with your department on, maybe we could go out and figure out the placement, et cetera. Yeah.
A couple of considerations on that as well.
Sure. Yeah. She speaks, and then you can come up and say.
Should I just come up?
Well, she yielding? Are you yielding the floor?
Sure.
Okay.
We've been working on this together. I'm Jack Hines from Saskatoon, former president, now vice president. Just a couple of considerations.
Well, we need your address.
So Jack, and it's IJAMS, not LJ,
ING.
and it's 51B Spruce Street,
Spruce.
Southport.
Yep.
One of the considerations, Lieutenant,
Yes,
was two other considerations. One is, as you come around that corner off Beachside Avenue, we don't want it to be so close that no one's even going 25 yet.
Understood, yep.
And so somewhere in that vicinity, that's one consideration. And the other one is that we want the motorists to know as early on as possible that they're going 40
Sure.
instead of 25. That's it.
Yeah.
It's sort of managing those considerations.
Understood, yeah, our suggestion is somewhere within the midst of that straightaway. So if you're gonna put it in the middle of the straightaway, that's probably the best bet, so that you have the speed that's coming around the corner, the opportunity to pick up speed during that first part of the straightaway.
Yeah.
The middle of the straightaway would be my suggestion.
Yeah. Judy, back to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I just have one more question. So we would be working with your department about any kind of signage that would be needed for the crosswalk, or is that another department?
So it's separate from this particular, so you have the traffic solar sign.
Right.
And if you wish to have any other signage done, that would have to be brought before the commission.
We brought the notion before you,
Okay, on our,
and you've approved it.
okay. So we don't have a location yet on the agenda.
Solar sign.
All right, yeah, we can approve the signs, but there's no location, so
Okay.
we're gonna have to do this again when we,
What you can do, and what we've done in the past, is that you make a motion to approve, and the location to be determined by the engineering department. Ultimately, they determine where it goes. The police department doesn't determine where it goes, it's the engineering department. They are in
Okay.
charge of where the signs get placed at the approval of the commission.
okay,
Okay,
does that sound good?
that sounds good. So we'll continue to work with Bill
Yep,
and,
but we have to vote on the motion,
Okay.
so,
good, well, thank you.
So, okay,
I'll make the motion to approve the request, subject to the exact location of the sign by the engineering department.
Okay. Good.
I'll second it.
second by Commissioner Lebo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Abstentions? None?
Okay.
Okay, motion passes, so you get your signs.
Great, well, thank you
Thank you
very
for
much.
paying for them, too.
Thank you.
Okay. I can just tell you one thing, I've been there a number of times, and that is very congested, even in the wintertime. And what happens is, my personal opinion is, you have all these ways and traffic things, and when 95 gets jammed up, that place is a nightmare. So I think you're good to have those signs.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, we wish we could have done sidewalks, but
Sure.
that whole area is,
Oh, I know. In the summertime, there's always people pushing baby carriages and bicycles and joggers. And that poor special officer is trying to keep track of, I was there sitting there one day, just a little story. And there were people that pulled in Southport Beach, and they were watching the special checking the permits, and as soon as he got close, they moved their car. Crazy. Anyway, well, thank you again for coming forward.
thank you.
Okay, we have these donations, right? They're not on the agenda?
That's correct.
So we have to make a motion to put them on the agenda? All right, we have a motion to put the,
I'll make a motion to put the,
To add to the agenda? Yep.
yeah,
to add to the agenda, the checks that we've received, from both the, Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., from the Hometown Foundation, Inc., from Cheshire, in the amount of $4,792.41, and from Karen and Lynn Keenan, for $100 payable to the police department. These two donations have been made, to the Fairfield Police Department. So I move that they be accepted.
well, we got to put them on the agenda. So, we have a vote, oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but sorry, just to point out, though, one is the donation to the canine unit, so we have to be very specific, that
Okay.
donation is going there, correct?
Which donation is that?
That's the $4,792.41.
No, this here. No, this is
Oh,
the canine.
okay, oh, I got you. They're both going to K-9?
Well, the other one is just as for thank you, it doesn't say, so I need to know which. One is going to the donation to canine
Right.
unit, and the other is going
To
to
the
Fairfield Police Department.
Okay, so Chief, can you tell us where that money's going? Just says Fairfield Police.
Oh,
Chief, both
Yeah, this goes to the K-9 unit. It says Fairfield Police Department K-9 right in the.
So they're all canine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yep, on the very bottom.
oh, yeah, there we are, canine.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
both to canine, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to put it on the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Commissioner Stone.
That's
All right,
okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Abstentions? None. Okay, now we need a motion to vote on it.
Now that the matter's on the agenda, I move that both checks, one in the amount of $4,792.41 and one in the amount of $100, both be approved and to the K-9 and specifically dedicated to the K-9 unit.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Lebo, second. Anybody have any questions? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Abstentions? None. Okay, motion passes and K-9 division gets their money.
Okay.
All right, where are we here?
Are we under old business?
Old business. We don't have any old
None.
business?
None.
Okay, new business. We gotta set the meeting dates for 2022, and as follows: January 12th, February 9th, March 9th, April 13th, May 11th, June 8th, July 13th. There's no August meeting as of now. September 14th, October 12th, November 9th, and December 14th. We have a motion to
So
accept
moved.
those dates. Commissioner Stone, second.
Second.
Commissioner Lebo.
All in
Okay,
favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? None? Okay. All right, so those are our dates.
I have select
Okay.
officers.
All right, now we have select officers for 2022. Okay, so the nomination for chairman. Okay, should go ahead.
I move that we elect Ron Pine as chairman of the Fairfield Police Department.
And I'll second that.
Fairfield Police Commission.
Commission.
Don't take the chief's
All right,
job away.
Commissioner Caparelli, seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay, now we need secretary. Do a nomination.
I would nominate
Peter.
Peter Ambrose to be secretary of the commission.
I second.
Go ahead.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Abstentions? None? Congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody.
Oh, boy. Okay, now, we need a motion to go into executive session,
Yeah,
which is,
I'll make a motion.
all right, Commissioner Lebo. Second, that's okay. 4:53,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so, we have a motion, I'll make the motion to approve the promotion of Lieutenant Edward J. Wild Jr.,
Effective
the-
January 3rd.
yeah, to the rank of captain to fill the vacancy, due to the retirement of, Deputy Chief John Buccarati, effective January 3rd, 2022. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second, Commissioner Stone, second.
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, congratulations, Captain.
Congratulations.
Or January 3rd, anyway, but get your railroad bars out there, what do they call it? Congratulations.
You do a great job, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
New York is a little bit more. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Monthly report. Anybody have any questions on the monthly report? Oh,
I know, I had it in my phone, I have a new phone, this is not good. Just
well, we
kinda-
had a couple of big robbery
Yeah,
cases you guys
yeah.
did a nice job on. Cumberland Farms and, Southport.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give us a little synopsis of how it went down.
Yeah, so, the robbery in Southport, you know, that was a big deal. It was very, I guess it was impactful to that community. We actually had you know, obviously it's very uncommon in that area. We did a meeting after that with not only parents of the students that were, that any of the parents that wanted to come could come, and it was actually Lieutenant Wyatt and I who reached out to the parents and kind of just wanted to get their feel and let them ask questions about the case. And that went very well. We did that at the Trinity Church down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next weekend, Senator Wong did a meeting down there because a lot of the Southport constituents had a lot of questions as well.
Right, you did very well.
Yes,
Really great job.
you were there for that, Commissioner. So we did that as well. I think, you know, I think one thing that we could take away from it is that it was involving 2 juveniles in a stolen car, and that seems to be pervasive throughout the state. And we could also say that it was a pretty high likelihood and very uncommon for that area, or even in Fairfield as a whole. So I think that was kind of accepted by most of the people, not only of Southport, but in the town as well. The Cumberland Farms, which one was the Cumberland Farms?
That was the write-up from Lieutenant Nook. We recognized the good work of Matajek. They had a robbery there. He displayed a handgun to the cashier. Officer Jeff Wickman noted the car, a suspicious car right in the area right after the call came in. He effected a traffic stop. The passenger got out and ran up onto the highway. He was subsequently tased by Sergeant Matajek, and they took him into custody. So it was a good job by them. It was good,
Great.
you know, very fast response. And, you know, they were right in the area. He saw something suspicious. He acted on it. They all did a really good job.
Was the gun retrieved?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 violent crimes in Fairfield, but came to a quick, successful conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Sends a message to the bad guys that
That's right.
we're not a soft target.
What about these characters, kids that are running rampant downtown, you know, causing destruction? How do you handle those guys?
So actually, Lieutenant Wyatt met with, did a community outreach through the Chamber of Commerce and Mark Barnhart from Economic Development.
Mm-hmm.
And we met with all the downtown residents. Actually, Captain Broderick was also there for that meeting. And there was a lot of things that they discussed, but one of them was obviously the students that are leaving Tomlinson Middle School, coming down to the downtown area, doing minor juvenile crimes like shoplifting, and sometimes just going into the stores and creating a disturbance. Obviously, there's very little we can do with juveniles, but we gave the store owners some kind of advice on what they can do. It's their store. They can, you know, ask certain, you know, the kids to leave. They could say, if you're not buying anything, 1 kid at a time, you know, whatever they want to do to mitigate those circumstances. And we just gave them some ideas to help them out. So that went pretty well. We got a lot of positive feedback from it, and it's probably likely gonna happen every couple of months, where we, especially in the spring and the fall, that's when this predominantly happens, when kids are in school and they're together in groups, and then they come down together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
it's been my experience that group of kids coming down from the middle school has been going on for years and years and years. But this is the first I've really heard of them being disruptive or anything else. They always used to be, they'd be in a mob, but they were okay. They were orderly.
Commissioner,
Is there any specific thing that you would look at now and say, what's changed them?
there was a couple of things. We had a couple of skateboarders that were skateboarding, and one of the juveniles spit in a woman's face. Just some acts of, I'll use your word, just acts of stupidity and disrespect to another person, regardless of their age and it was just, I guess it just reached a boiling point, and the downtown, business owners wanted to have a meeting.
But my point is, what do you think has triggered this? Because it never used to be an issue.
That's so violent, right? Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
just kids in general now and the whole?
It's like everywhere else across the country.
Yeah, that's
Hopping around, yeah.
We're lucky they're not building an autonomous zone downtown. So,
that's true.
What about like, work with the school, like, if they're from Townsend, maybe the principal or the school staff can like.
So we did.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did some messaging to the students
Mm.
through the Board of Ed. And then we also, conducted that meeting with the downtown merchants, which I think Mark Barnhart was very happy with, because a lot of times he's stuck answering the questions. And he sometimes has the answers, but sometimes doesn't have the answers from a police perspective or a security perspective. He doesn't know how to help in that manner, so.
That's good. Okay, anything else on the monthly report? Oh, go ahead, Commissioner Stone.
Just one observation.
Sure.
As I look at the numbers here for doors unlocked, the 3-year trend, 71, 33, 21. Obviously, you're getting the message across.
Yeah, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
good job.
Thanks. Go ahead.
But what about Timor Drive, where that lady is, I know.
Yeah. You're this,
I walk down there all the time, never had a problem. I ride my bike.
yeah, this was reported to me by someone else, and I tried looking for it the other day through our computer system, and someone was asking about it. It was reported on Doing It Local.
Yes.
And he didn't have his information correct.
It all go together, right, for me.
Yeah, it didn't, and I think he took what was reported over the radio as gospel. I will get the details of that report for you so that you all are aware. If you have any constituents that are asking,
Yeah.
because I did also,
Yeah.
and I never looked it up, so
Okay, fine.
I'll
Okay.
get it for you.
And what about now near Christmas time? Do you see increased break-ins, packages being robbed?
packages all over.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yep,
Yeah.
and we're seeing a little bit, an uptick in shopliftings over the last, 3-4 weeks. I mean, it's kind of skyrocketed. We're getting 2 or 3 a day when normally we get 1 or 2 a day. Those are going up. We're seeing a lot of cabinet computer thefts.
Still, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trending high, but it's not just all over. It's all over.
I know.
What were those catalytic converter thefts?
Yeah.
In fact, they had a picture of 2 guys, did you get that picture? It was in.
Trumbull had 28 school buses hit.
Yes.
Oh, my. 28? Wow, I didn't hear that.
And Hanson got hit twice, right? Hanson's Flower Shop. In fact, you chased the guy. Oh, he didn't chase him, sorry. The guy took off at a high rate of speed. You can't chase him.
Do you arrest the shoplifters, or how is it handled?
It's dependent. In most cases, they always get arrested. Some is dependent on the loss prevention officers, some is dependent on criminal history. If they have failure to appears, then we might actually take custody. Some are handled just on a misdemeanor summons where we give them an appearance in court. A lot of it is dependent on their flight risk, their attempts to flee, their resignation that they just, committed a crime, and, sometimes they just say, okay, you got me. They hand over this stuff, and they just submit to us, so we give them a piece of paper and say, show up to court. And there are other times where it's a thing, where we're chasing after them on foot, which puts officers at risk, which puts the public at risk.
Sure.
And you have other charges like interfering with an officer that also go along with it.
What's the dollar limit where you don't bother people? Like Chicago is $900.
It's up to the store. It's up to the store.
It's really up to the store. Yeah, there's no.
I'm being facetious.
I know.
We're not San Francisco, Jack.
Well, what about home break-ins? I get, people ask me about that all the time.
Yep.
With the Christmas coming up, and they do ask what they do, to protect their home, and of course.
We're not seeing an uptick in burglaries, and burglaries tend to be cyclical. Usually if a burglar or someone who abuses substances needs their fix, they will use it as a crime of opportunity, but it tends to be cyclical, where if they get out of jail from doing burglaries, they'll be good for a while, and then they'll go back to their old ways.
Do you get a report of, the ones getting out of jail, or no? Or you just hear about it on the streets, or?
The detectives get
Yeah.
that report, yeah. They get a report when they know that someone has been released from, incarceration, and they know that it's just a matter of time before they, and some recover, some take their punishment and move on.
Pay their debt to society.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Okay, any other questions? Good. Got a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn?
Second?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.